What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are less than a week away from the brand new raid in Destiny 2. And of course I'm talking about the Last Wish raid in the Dreaming City. I don't yet know what the power recommendation will be for that raid, but if I had to guess it'd be right around 540 or 550. No matter how you look at it though, that's a pretty significant increase from the soft cap of 500. So to get ready for that raid, you do need to be taking advantage of every opportunity you can get. We all know about the daily and weekly challenges, the flashpoints, those milestones that have traditionally been a way of increasing your light level. These will give you powerful gear that will allow you to keep progressing up to that power recommendation. Once you get these done though, there's only a few options to keep that progress going. There are some bounties that do reward powerful gear, but oftentimes those can be challenging in their own right. So what other ways are there to keep leveling up? The big thing that Destiny 2 has brought with the Forsaken is Prime Engrams. Now, Prime Engrams, when you see them, they are purple in color for the most part, but they do have a hint of gold and yellow exotic flavor to them as well, which, now that I think about it, it'd be cool if you could somehow upgrade a Prime Engram into an exotic engram, or if you maybe held on to one for a week, it would ripen and turn into an exotic engram. But either way, Prime Engrams are more or less powerful gear that drop from yellow bar enemies. So enemies like this, that high value target, he does have a chance of giving me a Prime Engram. Unfortunately here I did not get one, but any yellow bar enemy is going to have a small chance of giving you a Prime Engram. These are very rare drops, so these things are not going to drop like candy. I know there are some videos out there when it comes to Prime Engram glitches. That is not what this video is about. Certainly I'm not going to tell people how to play the game, but that's really not my style. So if you're looking for a get-rich-quick scheme, this video is not for you. Prime Engrams drop from yellow bar enemies. They can also drop from crucible matches as well. So what are the fastest way of getting Prime Engrams the legit way? Well, there are a few activities you can do that do have better chances, or more chances I should say, of giving you Prime Engrams. The two PvE opportunities that you have to get Prime Engrams a bit faster are Escalation Protocol on Mars. Those are really good ways of getting Prime Engrams. So if you've done Escalation Protocol before, you know how it works. There is increasing levels of difficulty when you go through the waves. Once you hit wave 3, that's when yellow bar enemies start to spawn like crazy. So Escalation Protocol, in terms of doing it legit, is probably the fastest way of getting Prime Engrams. There are some challenges though when it comes to Escalation Protocol. First and foremost, it can be difficult to get a team together to do this public event. You need to coordinate in terms of having randoms come into your fire team in order to serve as fire team anchors, and it can be frustrating to get a nice group together to do this activity. Yes, now that people are a higher level light, it is somewhat easier to do this activity, but by and large though, the most stress-free way of doing it is if you have 6 or 7 or more people doing that. So that can be time consuming in its own right to get a group together. But if you do, this is probably the fastest way of farming yellow strength enemies. Another good activity you can do in PvE is part of the Dreaming City, and I'm talking about the Blind Well. This is the new Escalation Protocol type activity where it's really a blend of Escalation Protocol, Prison of Elders, and Archon's Forge, Court of Oryx from Destiny 1. This is a great way of getting Prime Engrams. I did a stream the other day where I got 3 in one 2 or 3 hour session, so they were dropping pretty frequently for me in this Blind Well. But there's also some challenges for this too. The odd thing is there's actually not that many people who've been to the Dreaming City yet. So right away you do have a smaller player base to take advantage of this public event. Of course, each day that number grows, so it won't be an issue moving forward, but right now though there's just not that many people here. Just like with Archon's Forge back in the day, you do want to make sure you're walking into the Blind Well instance pretty slowly to give yourself time to matchmake. But even doing that though, there's oftentimes going to be only 1 or 2 other players there. And because this power recommendation is quite a bit higher, you definitely want to make sure that you have at least 5 or 6 people to do some of these different activities in blind well, especially if you're trying to do tier 2 or tier 3. You need to have a lot of people to do this. So escalation protocol, blind well, definitely the fastest way of getting the prime engrams because there's way more yellow bar enemies, but there are challenges with that. So if you don't want to do blind well, you don't want to do escalation protocol, Gambit and Crucible are not really your thing either, then you're really left to just a few options. You can do public events like I'm doing right now here on EDZ. So all of these public events will have a yellow bar enemy at the end. What makes EDZ particularly good right now is it's the flashpoint. So each public event is going to have one extra named yellow bar enemy that can give you a prime engram. You can also supplement that with looting lost sectors. All the bosses at the end are yellow bar enemies, so they'll have a small chance of giving you a prime engram. And there's also quite a bit of high value targets here that spawn in the EDZ. So by and large, I would focus on EDZ. If the flashpoint, I'm not sure what it will be tomorrow, but during the weekly reset, check where the flashpoint is. If it's anywhere but Mercury, I would recommend farming at that destination. Mercury just doesn't quite have a whole lot going on. So everything else, flashpoint, go there. You'll have more yellow bar enemies during the public events. And you're also going to be getting other things too while you're doing this. So if you're running low on infusion materials, it'll be a nice way to kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Outside of that, you can also do strikes. Those can be really useful. Obviously, there's the boss at the very end. Depending on the power level that you do, there could be more difficult enemies. Nightfall as well. That's a bit difficult right now, though, because it is 540 light. You may end up having more difficulty doing that than the benefits you would get. So that's a brief background on Prime Engrams. Make sure, though, the one thing you do want to do is go to the Cryptarch. If you visit him once a day, you'll get the Prime Attunement buff, and this essentially increases your chances of getting a Prime Engram to drop. So that's a daily thing you can get from Rahul in the Cryptarch. That'll help you out quite a bit. And another thing too is if you have a Fire Team Medallion, use one of those as well. That'll help you too because you'll get more XP and more loot, so you'll get better stuff in general, and it may actually help you getting Prime Engrams as well. So that's going to be your best bet in terms of getting ready for the Last Wish raid this Friday, is using Prime Engrams to supplement the daily and weekly challenges that give you powerful gear. So hopefully this video was helpful for anybody watching. I'm super excited for the Last Wish raid on Friday. Can't wait to jump in there and see exactly what that raid has to offer. If you too are likewise excited, let me know in the comments below. Most importantly though, thanks for watching. We'll all catch up soon, and best of luck in the Last Wish.